Greetings, YouTubers. I am the Mad Hatist, and welcome to the Random Review.
Who the fuck is that?
Well, me. But that's not important. What is important is who will sit on the Iron Throne in the end. From the point of view of the books, of course. Guys?
And who are you? The proud Lord said that I must bow so low. Only a cat of a different coat.
Now, before I get into the guts of things, let me first say that this is entirely my own opinion, and if you disagree with me, comment. As a result, there will be spoilers. Mountains of spoilers. So if you have not finished the books, please do not watch. As for those of you who have watched the series, you're going to feel slightly lost. To stop these feelings of confusion, I suggest reading the books. However, if you think that, I don't know, reading's hard or something, feel free to watch omitting the characters that are newer. No, I mean, there's only 2 characters in the series. Now that that's out of the way, let us continue. I guess I need a change for the occasion. Give me a sec. Perfect. Number 6. Stannis Baratheon, the last of the 3 Baratheon brothers, has arguably the best claim to the throne. A harsh but just man, he has been my favourite ever since the original 5 kings. Yes, even more than Stark. And still remains, in my opinion, the claimant best suited to rule. But just because you're the best suited to rule does not mean you are going to. Heading into the last leg of the story, Stannis is all but gone. His army wastes away in the cold of the north. The Boltons lick at his heels, Melisandre's not at his side, which in my opinion was the beginning of the end for Stannis, and the Faith rejects him and his Red Guard, pitting the common folk against him. However, I do not think that he will go down quietly. The ripples of his influence will be felt far and wide throughout Westeros, owing to both Sir Davos and Sir Justin. Whether or not he will see these ripples be taken into effect remains to be seen, but I find it doubtful. Number 5. Poor little Tommen. Despite having the Iron Throne at the moment, the realm seems to be slipping away while he plays with Sir Pounce. His mother all but killed him herself with her brief ruling as queen, and as a result both her and his lady wife now stand on trial by the Faith. His grandfather, the only real power the Lannisters had, as well as his grand uncle, had both been killed by Varys. Okay, yes, technically Tyrion killed Tywin. However, do you not think that it was just a bit too convenient for Varys? I mean, he, by far, gains the most out of Tywin's death. This will probably leave Cersei in control of the Iron Throne again, and we all know how well that worked the first time. And back then she wasn't even vengeful. As for the strengths of young King Tommen, his army still pretty much remains intact, and the forces of Highgarden are at his disposal, as well as the powerful Red Wine fleet. Lastly, the Faith supports him for the time being. However, so many things could and probably will go wrong for the boy king that I don't see his future as being rather healthy. Number 4. We all remember this guy, right?
Say her name! You raped her! You murdered her! You killed her children!
Well, turns out he might have only gotten it 3/4 right. Aegon Targaryen is the lost dead reborn son of Rhaegar Targaryen, and was supposed to have died in the sacking of King's Landing. This wouldn't be the first time that the dead have come back to haunt the living, literally or figuratively. Trained to be the people's king, under the direction of Varys in the disputed lands, Aegon has now returned to reclaim his grandfather's kingdom. At his back is the Golden Company, a powerful and respected army of 10,000, complete with elephants and knights. He also arrives at an opportune time. The 7 kingdoms are in ruins, with only Dorne and the Vale of Arryn untouched by the conflict. This is evident in his early successes. His claim is arguably the best, and to top it off, Dorne may join him. May being the operative word. The major problem with his campaign is that it is built on faith. Faith that lords will join him on his name alone. Throughout the series, there's little open longing for the Targaryens in the 7 kingdoms, and a good portion of the Golden Company's officers are exiled lords looking to reclaim lost land, threatening the lords that currently hold those lands. The Golden Company, though fearsome, are quite small in numbers compared to the rest of the kings, and only half the forces have currently made it to the 7 kingdoms at all. Aegon himself is hot-tempered, young, and brash, It is seen multiple times throughout the series that he can act on impulse, kinda like Granddad. He has also been described as a mama's dragon by certain characters in the series, hinting that he could be a fake Targaryen. Number 3. If you would have told me at the beginning of the books that Sansa would be a contender towards the end, I would have been like, lo and behold, Sansa has found herself in a really powerful position. Incidentally, if it weren't for the dragons, I would have her up here as number 1. She is lined up to take control of the Vale, one of the 2 areas not ravaged by war, and which is far more defendable and fertile than Dawn. She also has the name to rally both the North and the Riverlands back to her cause, and is in the prime position to attack the Freys and destroy them. Now wouldn't that be satisfying? And then there's Littlefinger, the character who has had arguably the most direct influence in this story than any other. I consider him and Varys to be the most powerful characters from a manipulation standpoint. I mean, let's get real. How many major events has Littlefinger had his little finger in? The downside being that Sansa will probably not influence her road to being a queen directly. It is just not in her character as of yet. She will probably never quote-unquote rule as queen, being more of a puppet. Her brief marriage to Tyrion could also play havoc. All that aside, the plans after her crowning are pretty much unknown to the readers, and that makes it rather hard to fit her into any predictive model. Littlefinger is unpredictable, and that makes Sansa unpredictable, and in the Game of Thrones, that can get you very far. Number 2. Daenerys is in a sore spot. Her army is about to go to war against unfavorable odds, and she herself is lost in the Great Green Dothraki Sea, and to top it all off, her dragons are uncontrollable. However, in an almost polar opposite to Tommen, there are an amazing amount of scenarios that could go very well for Daenerys. The Ironborn are on their merry way to save the day, along with the Horn to control dragons. Her enemies are in disarray due to plague, and she herself will return with another army, most likely to find that her forces were victorious in the battle. She also has a way to reach Westeros due to the Ironborn. But is it for the best? Dany has not proven to be the most stunning of leaders in court, often backing down to pressure and making decisions that work against her. She is ruthless to her enemies, provided that they stand before her in plain sight and she has the moral high ground. She refuses to accept that the rebellion against her father was somewhat just, and it is likely that she will dismiss certain houses from being her allies due to their standing in her father's downfall. But she has dragons, and that is what separates her from the previous claimants. Dragons have had such an influence in Westeros that it is almost guaranteed that they will play a major part in the war to come. The truth is, dragons are going to win this war. The first claimant to control the dragons will have a distinct advantage over the others. And if Dany is able to do that, she's on her way to win. However, going into the final books, there is one claimant that trumps her. Me! Haha! Thank you. Hold your applause, everybody. What? You don't think I can do it? Well, here I am sitting on the Iron Throne. Now I'm at the wall. Wait. What happened? Damn, stupid, bloody... Okay, fine. Number 1. Aeron Greyjoy, probably the most unknown of the kings at the moment, is the second oldest of the Greyjoy 4, arriving the day after Balon took a swan dive with the Bridges of Pike, and finding success in the King's Moot. He now controls the Ironborn, which have suffered some casualties, but remain largely unaffected by the war. He commands 93 ships, crewed by mutes, and is one of the only few characters to use magic, a force that has proven its worth countless times. The Ironborn are masters of sea warfare, and Aeron knows this. This is evident in his early attacks. He is also really competent in the sense that he sends the Iron Fleet on what could be a wild goose chase. Still, his greatest asset is the Dragonhorn, the only item in the entire series that claims to be able to control dragons. Though untested, Aeron thinks it will work and is betting his victory on it. Because let's face it, his army is small compared to the other kings and queens and have absolutely no presence on land. The Ironborn are regarded as reavers and have no allies in the mainland. Aeron himself doesn't seem to play well with others, being quite unpredictable in his mannerisms. The Faith rejects the Drown Guard as well as the Red Guard, and the Iron Fleet has been defeated by Stannis before, using the combined might of the Red Wine Fleet and the Royal Fleet, the former sailing to meet them at this very moment. However, as stated before, Dragons will win this war, and Aeron has the only way to control them at the moment. The Iron Fleet is rushing to the aid of Daenerys in any case, and will gain her as a potential ally to the Iron Wall. This will in turn make up for the lack of ground forces or cavalry, and even if it doesn't, even if Daenerys refuses the aid of the Iron Wall, they may still acquire one if not all three of her dragons. Well, there you have it, folks. If you agree, disagree, or have your own ideas, please feel free to comment. Well, that about wraps it up for my first video. If you found it adequate, please like and subscribe. Hell, enough subscriptions and I might get off my lazy ass and do the next one real soon. Also, a big shout out to the artists who allowed me to use their artwork in this video. You guys are awesome! The links to their galleries are in the description, so if you're a Song of Ice and Fire fan, or just appreciate art in general, give them some love. As for the next random review, what should it be? An ideology, a major world event, maybe even a game or movie? Leave your suggestions in the comment section. I am the Mad Hatist, and thank you for watching. Cheerio.
I'm blue, I've been beat, I've been died, I've been